Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. You know, I had a friend recently who told me that I violate their personal space. It was a very hurtful thing to say, and it really ruined our bath time. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Ichor from Bitewing Games. In Ichor from Bitewing Games, players take on the roles of the command echelon above the 4077 MASH unit from the beloved TV series MASH. As the Ichor, you actually. What's that? It's not MASH. In Ichor, players take on the roles of either the Greek gods or the Greek monsters as they attempt to battle each other and leave their trail of tokens in this asymmetric power battle. Now, as I say, one of you will take on the role of Greek gods, one of you will take on the role of Greek monsters, and you will have a number of cards and standees that will represent your units. Now, you can play in a 6x6 grid or a 7x7 grid, and you have a cloth mat, which is very, very cool. But what you do in this game is you set your guys about one space into the player board facing each other. Now, you've got the cards, as I say, that have special one time per game powers that you can trigger for each of your units. But what you do on your turn, and the monsters move first, is you go ahead and you can move your unit any number of spaces until they reach either the edge of the map or another figure. They have to stop. But however far they go, you then leave your tokens on the board in that path. Now, if you ever cross through another player's tokens, you can replace their tokens with your own. But essentially, you're trying to go around the board and lay down as many of your tokens as you possibly can. And as you're doing this, you will have opportunities on your turn to use the individual player powers that you have on your units. And you'll flip over that card and do that particular power. So players are going back and forth. They are taking turns moving their units along the board. They are dropping their tokens. They are replacing their opponent's tokens with their own tokens, and they are hoping their opponents don't do the same to them. They are also activating those player powers, those once in a game per player powers that come with their specific units. The first player to drop all of their tokens on the board wins Ichor. We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ichor is from Rainer Knizia, that being of pure mathematics. So this game is an abstract game. I mean, you've got Greek gods and Greek monsters, and the artwork here is really good. But fundamentally, this feels like an abstract game. It's got a very chess-like feel, although it plays very different than chess. It's still, you get something approaching chess from this game. Now, this is one of those games that looks very simple and very easy, and yet it's really quite deceptive, because every time you think you can do something really cool, so can your enemy, and they're going to do things to you that you're going to get upset with. It's a tough puzzle because you're really trying, like I say, to lay down as many of your guys. You got to figure out how far can you move and take out your enemy's tokens and lay down as many of yours as you can. And sometimes there's just not a lot of good moves, and sometimes you will have really cool abilities that won't work for where one unit is positioned, but maybe where another unit is positioned. And so you're constantly trying to weigh when is the best time to use your abilities in the game. I have to tell you, going into this, I wasn't expecting much. I'm not Not a terribly huge Rainer Knizia fan. I don't dislike him, but he's just never been one of my favorite designers. But I have to say, this game was incredibly fun. Both Ray and I really enjoyed Ichor quite a bit. It's a quick game, you know. Like I say, it's deceptively simple, right? That is to say, you think it's going to be really simple, and it's not that it's complicated, but there's just so many good choices here, and in how you're going to move. Or sometimes there's bad choices. You know, how can I make the most of such a bad situation? And so I really enjoyed that aspect of the game here as well. This is like one of the most fun abstract games I can remember playing in a while. Now, like I say, you do have the theme of the Greek gods and the Greek monsters, but it's pretty light. It really plays like an abstract, and it's really fun. I really got a kick out of it. So, recommendation for Ichor on the Cody scale, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 7. It was just a blast. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we'd ask you to please leave a comment for us here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, on X. We do love to hear back from you. We'd ask you to please subscribe to this channel and leave a thumb here, and leave a thumb to us on Board Game Geek, and subscribe to all the good social media stuff as well. If you really do like the channel, I'd ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history and military history and fun things like that. And if you really do enjoy what you see here on The Discriminating Gamer, I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. Remember, kids, if you can't get the bartender's attention, just dress up like a tennis ball. You'll be served right away.
The director of the orphanage. He's come to take me away and beat me. But I've got a friend in you, Mr. Cody. I shall hide, and I'll have you engage in a game of misdirection and subterfuge.
I say there, Gov. Have you seen a boy around here? It's time for us beating.
He's over there.